There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. Some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
Just as a reminder for quali,
I can hear you, Nick.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you can hear me now. We have had some technical issues with the old Logitech headset this evening. Not sure why the microphone's not working, but I've juried up the second thing. Welcome, qualifying just starting, and it is definitely going to be interesting. Qualifying practice for tomorrow night's Pro Series. Been a bit of a mad dash this evening, so apologies for not having some of my stuff set up well enough. I'll try and do better next week. With me I've got Mark Duggan. How are you, Mark?
Yeah, I'm good, John. Love this track. Had a lot of success and a lot of failures here over the years, and just to say, great track for the V8s to race on. So really looking forward to this one. One of my favourite tracks for the V8s.
Yeah, it is a great circuit. These guys rolling out fairly quickly here. Definitely just might try and sit this somewhere else if I can. Not sure. Definitely continuing on here with this microphone working, so it's good. Yeah, it's going to be very soon. Big crowd tonight as well. We've got a lot of the Pro Series guys in here. Adam Briggs, Taliancic. Justin Wallace has been promoted up into Super 2. And sorry, from Super 2 to the Pros. Craig Schultz has been demoted back to Super 2. That's some of the big changes, as we're about to see some of these guys set out on their lap. Tyson Broad already running quite good at the moment. Teo Serrano's with us this evening. Looking forward to this one, Mark.
Yeah, like I said, John, one of my favourite tracks on the iRacing calendar, especially for the V8s. And yeah, I really enjoy driving this track. It's got a bit of everything. It's a bit similar to Bathurst, except for the undulations, really. Yeah, a lot of technical stuff, but a lot of high-speed stuff, a lot of big braking points. So yeah, suits the V8s down to the ground, and I'm sure the boys will turn it on for us tonight.
Yeah, of course, we start on the Road America straight, down through turn 1, through the kink at 2, tweak down at turn 3, very tight, a high camber corner to get right, down through the kink at 4, downhill at the moraine sweep, into 5, uphill to 6, very difficult getting the braking right, going across the crest there, and then sweeping through turn 7 through Harry Downs, into turn 8, around the carousel, and then into the high-speed kink, one of the toughest corners in motorsport. And then down through the Kettle Bottoms, through the forest, into Canada Corner, and then we come up through Thunder Valley, Bill Mitchell Bend, and then turn 14, back up the hill, down the Road America straight. It is a tough track to get 100% right, but these boys will give it everything they've got tonight as we jump on here. Of course, with Rick Kuznetsov, he's sitting just behind James Scott, so we'll start seeing some times. Broad with a 2:05.4. Scott goes across the line. Here he goes, 2:05. Rattray White goes to the top. Briggs in P2. So great result from Zach Rattray White. You'd be pretty happy with that one. Of course, Zach had a very good running at Scops on Sunday night, so carrying that form here by the looks. And Briggsy in P2 on that first run. So Briggsy doing quite well, so I think you'd be pretty happy with that. As you see, Luke Mitchison and Brenton Hobson, Damien Johnstone drop in on the board. So a few guys starting to drop in. So very, very interesting scenario unveiling at the moment.
Yeah, we've even got Tom Freer qualifying tonight, which is very unusual for Tom.
Yes, Tom, one of the rugged performers. He'll have a crack at this one for sure. Being Pro Series week, probably keen for a good result. As these guys here circulating back into pit lane. Having a little bit further back, Martin Lofthouse. He's sitting himself in 17th at the moment. Tyson Broad's just about back in the pits. So nearly everybody's circulating back around. 18th is Jacob O'Reilly. A bit surprised with Jacob being that far back. I expect him to come out like Scott in the first run and do really well. It looks like Reg James, Teo Serrano, Kuznetsov, Matty Mascord, Brody Kostecki, Tom Freeman, Visma, Vlasbom, Coleman, Borg, Baldwin, Tonkin, Warboys still to set a time. So, you boys fishing at the back of this pack still, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking through the field there, I'm sure a few of the boys profited off James Scott leading them around that time out. Adam Briggs was sitting behind James, Rick Kuznetsov and Zach Rattray White not far behind him either. So I'm sure James will be looking for a bit of assistance from either one of his teammates or trying to break free of these people so he's not towing them around for the entire lap.
And of course, Dylan Rudd not racing tonight, so his usual campaign partner not with him, but does have a few friends in the group still. I expect to see who's going to help James Scott.
Yeah, just looking a bit of a different livery running tonight as well on the Lobs Esport car.
Yes, big talking point this week is the Do and OK sponsorship coming across with Andrew Gilliam to that team. Some big changes, a few other moves in the group as well. Fine. Who's on track at the moment? Reg James, Thomas Freeman, Rick Kuznetsov is the other one. He is now gone back to the 9.5 Sim Sports from Lobs. So that's the other big change. So a few things on the move. More mid-season madness and Formula One going on in the V8 world at the moment.
Yeah, it's a few surprises there for me. Just logging in for the first time this evening and just noticing quite a few changes. So yeah, a little bit of a mid-season silly season.
Not yet doing. Okay, now all over James Scott's car. And of course, it's a little bit of red to the blue livery. Adding to a little bit of the blue of the Vermeulen guys, so all about the same. Paddy Parker out watching as well. Now we'll just see who he's hanging around with. Jordan Ross this time tucked up behind him. So everyone trying to lobby to get in position here. Of course. Keep an eye out for our next run at this attack here. So James Ross, got James Scott that little bit further up. See, he's got that group lining up behind him. Retro White though, still well out in front of Briggs. And a dead heat time there with Tom Freya and Briggs.
The boys have probably got enough time for 2 more runs, so they really want to try and solidify their spot this time and then throw it all caution to the wind for the third one.
Still haven't seen a few drivers make their way out.
And pretty good conditions for the drivers, John. Partly cloudy, 21 degrees Celsius with a track temperature of only 24 degrees. So that's pretty mild for what these boys are used to running.
Yeah, especially this time of year. A bit of an eye on that, how that unfolds throughout the evening. As we are underway. Got into turn 1. Nicely pulls it up down the bottom of the main street. It's over the purple sector behind, up in front though, so keep an eye on this. Ooh, a little bit of extra wheel work there. Don't see that very often from James. Comes through the carousel. Don't want to offend any German driver. Reminding that's the carousel. And through the kink. Now down through Kettle Bottoms, through the forest here. Pull it up into Canada Corner. Nicely up over the crest. Balance it. Need to get the last corner right here to get the maximum power going up the hill. Oh, a little bit of extra steerage required. As what do we see? Retro White in the pit lane still is going to hang on to that position, I think. Scott moves up one spot to 8th, sorry, 8th, yep. Jordan Ross jumps up to 5th. It looks like the Synergy Sim Racing boys have come to play, mate.
Yeah, again, Tom Freer and Jordan Ross sitting just tucked up behind James Scott there, so getting full benefit of the tow from each other, but still good job from Jordan to be in that position. We know they're a strong team. Adam Briggs is up in P2, Tom Freer P3, Jordan Ross P5. That's a pretty good show. And then you got Bretton Hobson in P7. So yeah, the Synergy boys looking very strong tonight.
Luke Mitchison as well. And their new driver, Michael Talianchit, sitting in P8. So filling in the void between 1 and 9.
Yeah, and I missed another one, Damien Johnson in P4. So yeah, the top 10 currently is looking very strong for the Synergy boys.
Still plenty of time to go. Have enough time to get out track quickly.
It's surprising to see Jacob O'Reilly down currently in P22. Another good mention is Anthony Visma at the moment, up in P13, which is pretty good job from Anthony. A lot of strong drivers in front of him.
Looking forward to see how he goes. Michael Angus in 16. Craig Schultz 17. Troy Stone Street in 19. Steve Tonkin 21st. Reg James 23rd. So definitely a fair bit going on back there. But Retro White on an outlap as well. So he'll be about to come around shortly. See what he can do. Ben Faulkner mentioning that Retro White's been having some pedal problems. Hopefully not returning again this evening. David Coleman get to set a time too. A few guys still need to get on the board. Serrano's another one.
Yeah, Teo Serrano, Tom Freeman, Dave Coleman, Brian Ball, Matty Mascord, Blake Warboys, Brody Kostecki and Zach Blasbaum all still yet to set a time.
Becky out on track at the moment. See what he can do. Of course, time's ticked over, so he may not get a time in. Retro White won't make the stripe. Nor will Damien Johnstone. Reg James may have been the last one. I'm not 100% certain there. All boys picking on Blake for buggering up his pit entry on Sunday night. A bit harsh when the button doesn't work. Press it as many times as you want. Ain't gonna help. Particularly when you're at that position entering the pit where you got to bang it at the right time. So just try and work out who is still setting a time. So I don't think anybody is. Maybe Stone Street. What Troy can do. Ever improving driver. Stone Street. And around the last corner. And he's going straight in the lane, so he's not going to get a time in. Everyone else just cruising around now, just waiting for the 2 minutes to tick over before we go and grid up. So definitely a shaken up grid for this evening. Will be very interesting to see how some of these drivers come through the field. Plenty of laps to do so, of course. It's a 43 lap race. Two compulsory pit stops. One fast repair. Unlimited fuel. 17 incident points. So the boys have got to work a little bit smarter, not harder, around tonight. But keep an eye on how this one unfolds. Reg James heads into the lane. So definitely looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds. We continue on waiting for the timer to tick over. Shouldn't be too far away. So that one over. And now bring you the grid for tonight's race. Up. Coming, here it is. Zach Retro White from Vermeulen Motorsport with a 2:04.546 has taken pole position from Adam Briggs from Synergy Sim Racing, lining up alongside him. On the second row is Tom Freer from Synergy Sim Racing, lining up alongside Damien Johnstone, his teammate. On the third row, it's Jordan Ross, the boss of Synergy Sim Racing, in fifth, lining up alongside Stuart Mitchelson. Brenton Hobson, Hobbo, in seventh, lines up alongside the new recruit, Michael Taliacic, in eighth. In ninth is Lobs Esports, James Scott, starting on the fifth row alongside Dylan O'Shea from 95 Sim Sports. On the following row is Rick Kuznetsov, which I believe is now 9.5. That's a correction I've got to make. And lining up alongside him on row 6 is Justin Wallace from the Electrical Race on Oz. And over the page we go to Anthony Visma from Accelerate Sim Sports in 13th, lining up alongside Drop Bear Media's Tyson Broad. And then in 15th we have Brady Baldwin from Synergy Sim Racing, lining up alongside Beef Cheats himself, Michael Angus from Fishing Motorsports. In 17th is Craig Schultz, the leader of our Super 2 drivers this evening, lining up alongside Joe Marnie from B Race on Odds Electric. Got that wrong. And in the row behind, of course, is Troy Stone Street from WK&P Sim Sports, who lines up alongside JWM Sim Sports, Martin Lofthouse in 20th. 21st is Martin's teammate Steve Tonkin, who lines up alongside Zachary Vlasbom from Vermeulen Esports. And in 23rd from Vermeulen Esports we have Jacob O'Reilly, who lines up alongside Reg James from WK&P. And then in 25th we have Brody Kostecki racing for Trade Hire Racing, lining up alongside Thomas Freeman, who, I'll go fix that one too, is now a privateer. In 27th is Teo Serrano from Vermeulen Motorsports without setting a time as well. Brian Borg didn't set a time, Blake Wallboys didn't set a time. Swifty Fish, Dave Coleman sitting in 30th without setting a time. Matty Mascort from Synergy Sim Racing without setting a time. Safety car is Matty McMillan, and our race control this evening is Richard Barella. As these boys are about 30 seconds away from going here, this will be, I think, a very, very crucial start for Zach Rattray White, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a little bit hairy going into turn one here. Big closing speed into turn one, and cars can tend to back up quickly. So boys are going to have to be careful, but yeah, should be a pretty good race, I think.
Looking forward to this. These boys will be here to try and test their setups for tomorrow night. Try and ensure they got this right and get them ready to go. And speaking of go, the lights are about to come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reds. Lights are out. That's a great jump from Retro White. He has pulled away really well. A few movements in the background. It looks like Freya's picked up a spot. As we head down into turn 1 for the first time, Retro White's going to lead him away. Nice entry into the corner. Adam Briggs has lost a spot to his teammate Tom Freya. Keep an eye on the back. Talianchis is off the track. We'll work that in a minute.
Oh, big crash at the back of the pack. One of the Synergy boys and one of the 9.5 cars coming together. Briggs has gone off at turn 2 as well.
Talianchich was involved in that. Not sure who was with him. There's a few others in there. Definitely probably going to be a safety car from that one, I think, Mark, as we'll go back to live.
Yeah, it could be, John. A lot of damaged cars back there, so...
And of course, the one thing we didn't talk about was the damage model has been wound back a little bit, as we've still got two car stationary on track, which I believe is Justin Wallace and Rick Kuznetsov. So some big damage back there.
And safety car has been called, I believe.
It has been called. Let's go back, have a bit of a look at that again. We might start back where Taliarchich went off. So Michael gets the bump. He's then into the tyre barrier. Kuznetsov all over the track. Not really easy. A few boys going to the grass. Might just go a little bit further back here. That was definitely some hard fought stuff early on. 3 wide into turn 1. And then, yeah, this looks like Kuznetsov's just drifted across that little bit. Might just go back the green flag. Might just ride on board with Rick. If I can find where he is on my list now. So you can see, definitely not much room. 3 wide in front. Poked his nose on the inside here. It's got to be right to do that. Oh, yeah, a little bit off the curb. That's all it was. No malice in that. Just a little bit loose on the curb. You can see the carnage occurring behind. And we might just go back a little bit. Watch this from Blake Wall, boys. Effective. Jump in the cockpit with Blake. This is right up the back of the pack here. We're on that. O'Shea, O'Reilly, Borg, Baldwin, Schultz and Blasbom have all pitted. And War Boys here. You see the smoke in front. Where do you go? Cars bouncing around everywhere. Over some gear as well. Lines up. That looks like 2 cars involved in that one, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Threading the needle there. Yeah, as I said on the start line, the closing speed into turn 1 can often cause issues, and we saw that there. They survived the 3 wide, but then just that little wiggle on the exit coming off the curb was enough to send quite a few cars back to pit lane, which is a real shame.
Oh, of course, for those out there watching, if you get the chance to have a chat to David Baldock, a very famous race he was involved in here. So these boys are a little bit more luckier than that race. A lot of the field managed to get through. But it is a track that in that turn 1, 2, 3 complex, see a lot happen on that one. As Matt McMillan is out in the complete scaffold, Sars Hire and Labour safety car circulating around the track already on lap 2. So looking forward to seeing this race get back undersettled again. Just for those playing along at home, safety car was called before the first lap was completed. So if we are Not sure whether that first stop counts as a compulsory pit stop. In fact, I don't think it counts as a compulsory pit stop. So guys will still have to pit again, but they're all at the back of the group anyway, so get the car cleaned up. Get going again. And we'll have to wait for safety car period to finish and do a complete circuit under the green. I can do that at CPS. So, not much changed up the front. Retro White's still there. Tom Frere's moved up 1. Damien Johnstone's up 1. Jordan Ross up 1. James Scott up 4 spots into 5th. That is a great start for him. Luke Mitchelson in 6th. Brenton Hobson 7th. Visma 8th. That's 5 spots for him. That's a big jump up the list. Adam Briggs down 7. So he's probably the big loser out of the incident. Occur on that first lap. Might just try and see what happened to Briggsy. Something happened to him in turn 2. See if I can find that. The safety car's pulling away, so we might save that for a bit later.
Quick mention, John, Dave Coleman up 15, Matty Mascord up 15, Brody Kostecki up 14. So some very big movers in that midfield at the moment.
Yeah, definitely going to see a lot happen, I think, still in this race. As we are green flag racing. Rattray White's gone early on the corner. And yes, Brody is racing Fraser Frank. As we are now green flag and away again. And of course, Brody up 14 spots in 11th. For those asking the question. But Retro White leading the battle here at the moment, getting away quite cleanly. Still a few tight battles up the back. Adam Briggs putting a lot of pressure on Visma into turn 3, gets the job done. Great move there.
Kostecki made another spot into turn 1 as well, so Brody's coming quick. Quite a few gaps in that mid-pack that didn't seem to be bunched up as much as they probably should have been. Visma coming back at Briggs now into the braking zone.
And gets the job done. Nice move.
Forced Briggs wide and just made Briggs back out of that one. So yeah, good move there from Visma.
Briggs now with Kostecki tucked up behind, so can't afford to battle too much. Open the doors up. Create some issues. The Retro White, Freer, Johnstone, Ross, James Scott, Luke Mitchelson, and Brenton Hobson is the key at the moment. There's some good battles. Ross now coming under attack from James Scott. Getting the draft here, heading down into Canada. Scott keeping it as wide as he can. And Ross now. The pressure. Watch James Scott here. Be looking for a good exit out of the final corner, which will set him up to going up the hill.
Would find himself in a little bit of a DRS train, so to speak here. Everybody's picking up a tail.
And Baldwin involved in something at the end there, that last corner. We'll go back and have a look at that in a second. We'll just keep an eye on this here. Not looking for the gap. Ross covering it off very well. Nicely tucked up behind Damien Johnstone in that train, like you said, Mark. Here we go. Into the sweep. Ross blocks very hard. Scott looks to go around the outside. Not going to get it done, though. And looks to the inside. In the meantime, Becky's still tucked up behind Briggs. Roy Stone Street leading our Super 2 drivers in P11. There's some good battling going on back there too, Mark.
Yeah, Bloodles right through the field, but this is a very enticing battle in this top 5 here with James Scott putting pressure on Jordan Ross, two very experienced campaigners and former teammates, and we know how hard Jordan loves to race, and James Scott doesn't take any prisoners either. So still a lot of laps to go, so you don't want to be doing anything too silly at the moment.
No, you don't. Good opportunity into Canada this time. Scott is through. He's worked his way up into P4. Going to go back onto Briggs. Briggs has been passed by Kostecki as well. Bisma still tucked in the battle there, looking for a gap. Kostecki now moves himself into 8th position.
Could be a little bit vulnerable coming up the straight here with Briggs being able to pick up a full toe. You can see the gap closing and closing very quickly.
Here we go. What does Briggs do here? No, he's going to stay in the line. Bisma has a little bit of a look though. He's back in this battle.
Yeah, Briggsy probably thinking that Kostecki's going to get him up to the back of this pack anyway, and it may be worth his while just to be patient, sit in there, get back into the back of the queue here, and then allow his strategy to try and help him.
Freya now coming under attack from James Scott. So Scott's worked his way up into 3rd, quickly working his way through these Synergy Sim Racing entries. Tom Freya is the next man on the road.
Rattray White doing a great job out front. He's got a couple of car lengths on Freya, and Freya is going to be under all sorts of pressure now with James Scott behind him, so might be an opportunity for Rattray White to just open that gap a fraction.
Just seen an incident between Brian Borg and Snetsov. He's going to go to Supercheap Auto replay. This is down into the sweep. And just clipped in a little bit. Oh, and a big punt there for one of the New Zealand cars as well. So a bit happening as Scott though has moved into P2. Always driving very entertaining. Jordan Ross tucked up behind John Stone now. Luke Mitchelson behind him with Hobson. Kostecki still 1.3 seconds off the back of Hobson. These Synergy boys now are having to work for it.
Yeah, we saw James struggle a little bit in qualifying, starting from P8, which is very unusual in the East Coast to see James that far back in qualifying, but definitely looking like that car is ideally suited in race pace, because he has already made his way up to 2nd and is looking to close down on Rattray White ASAP.
They're definitely working very hard. I'm just going to jump back up the front. Tom Freya hanging on to the back, not dropping off too far from Scott. Scott now only half a second behind Rattray White.
Kostecki closing that gap down on Brenton Hobson as well. That is starting to close to under a second, so won't be long before Brody's picking up a full toe.
And Thomas Freeman starting to work his way through the field as well. He's up 10 spots now in 16th, tucked right up behind Steve Tonkin. There we go, too wide down into Canada. And nicely gets the pass done. Some good battling all the way through the field. Retro White now having James Scott in the draft. Scott tucked right up behind for the Mueller Motorsports entry. I expect Scott to try and make a move as he heads down along the straightaway coming up. Looking for a good exit here. Lap 7 of 43 is where we're at the moment.
Dylan O'Shea just making a move on Joe Mahoney back there for P12 and P13, and Dave Coleman now tucked up right under the rear wing of Joe Mahoney.
James Scott gets the job done. He's now race leader. Here comes Coleman. Just fishes it right in there. Get out of the way. Moves on. Dylan O'Shea, next man up the road. Of course, after O'Shea, we've got Stone Street. Stone Street leading our Super 2 drivers at the moment. And Hobson now under pressure from Kostecki. We saw this one coming. We said it wouldn't be far away. Here it is. And Kostecki gets another one, moves him up to P7.
Great driving from Brody. He's gained a lot of positions in a very short period of time. And now the battle is for these boys to try and stay in the draft of James Scott and not allow him to break away, because if he breaks away without a safety car, they won't see him again, I don't think.
Here we go. The old Ryko set up with James Scott, proving its worth again. As Amy and Johnstone now under pressure from Ross the Boss. You like the team boss giving you a little bit of a bump to tell you to hurry up? And that one's going to go back. Warboy's moving his way through slowly as well. He's now on the back of Steve Tonkin. Of course, Warboy's had to stop early on lap 1, involved in that incident as he heads to the inside of Tonkin. And Tonky just lets him by. Picks his battles. And Tom Freeman just gets past Dave Coleman.
Just saw Dave pinch a brake going down into, I think, turn 5 there, and pushed himself a little bit wide, and Thomas was able to capitalise very quickly.
Split one vets, Jack. Coleman, follow the safety car. As Kostecki is now latching on to the back of Luke Mitchelson. So I think he's going to do a James Scott here and pick these guys off one at a time, lap at a time. Heading down into Canada. Looks to the inside. Too wide. Great driving from those two boys. As Kostecki gets through. And Hobson also battling Mitchelson now as well.
See Hobbo there, tucked right up under the rear wing. I get the feeling that he's in full fuel save mode. Had the opportunity to get past there, but sorry, just preferred to stay tuck up under the wing, get that clutch in and save as much fuel as he can, and try and make some gains in the pit lane.
as Jordan Ross gets his way past Damien Johnstone. Of course, Kostecki on the back there as well now, so that's probably preceded that hurry up. Tom Freer's getting the hurry up as well from Jordan Ross. So Ross obviously a bit racy at this stage. Here comes Kostecki, looking wide, looking left. To get up the inside back there. And he does. Next man in front of Kostecki now, Jordan Ross.
You can see that gap between Rattray White and Tom Frere has opened up a bit, and James Scott out front as well. He's been able to open up a good 4 or 5 car lengths on Rattray White. So I think Jordan Ross is seeing them gaps open up and doesn't want to allow them to get away any further.
Working very hard. Go back a little bit. Warboys looks like he's about to get the move done on Coleman. Up the inside, so Warboys working his way through. Hobson under a lot of pressure from Briggs now. I'm just going to keep an eye on Kostecki. That's the current supercar champion. In real life, he's doing a magnificent job here tonight, up 20 spots. Jordan Ross tucked right up behind Freer. Is he going to make the move this time? No, here comes Kostecki. Side by side with Ross. It's in room. Still too wide. Can they hold this too wide to hurry downs? Oh, great driving from Jordan Ross to hang on there. And Kostecki comes back at him again though at the bottom of hurry downs. Ross has got to keep him wide here. No, Kostecki backs in to the train. Going too wide through the carousel wouldn't be a smart move.
You can see how much that gap has opened up to between Ross and Tom Freer, just battling for 2 or 3 corners there. That gap has just grown enormously. And
the lineup back to Briggs. They've all nose-tailed into this as well. What does Kostecki do here? Ross is going to block the inside. No, he doesn't. Kostecki pulls up alongside. Kostecki moves into P4. Great drive. Only gaps up front now. Bit of work to be done. 2 seconds up the road is Freer. So keep an eye on that. Scott's 1.6 in the lead from Zach Rattray White. The Vermeulen Motorsports pole sitter, sitting in second still, doing very well. Quite happy, showing the form he showed on Sunday night. Just running back through a little bit as we do have the Synergy Sim Racing train of Jordan Ross, Damien Johnstone, Luke Mitchell, Brenton Hobson, Adam Briggs. And then back in 10th we have the Viz. So the Viz got passed by Kostecki, but he's managed to hang on a bit, Mark. He's sitting in 10th, doing really well. Dylan O'Shea is sitting in P11. And he has Troy Stonestreet all behind him. A great drive from Troy here. So Stonestreet leading our Super 2 drivers.
Yep, and then we've got Paul Ritkits-Netsov caught in that, up in that lap 1, turn 1 incident. Had to get a tow, so he is currently a lap down, possibly 2 laps down even. And he'll certainly be hoping for a couple of safety cars to get him back on terms with the other competitors.
They're definitely showing good pace though. Warboy's running with him at the moment, up 16 in P13. Coleman tucked behind him. And of course Rick now back home at the 9.5. I'm sure Sean McNamara would be happy to have him back. Rick, of course, left it went to Vermeulen. And then part of all that shake-up that's occurred, he's come back. So looking forward to seeing what he can do. Back in 9.5 colours. There's a great little battle. O'Shea though, pulling away a little bit from Stone Street. And going to go a bit further back. Brian Borg is battling all the way back. It might be a battle. It's only for 25th and 26th, but he's having a good race here with Jacob O'Reilly as well. Brian been around the series for a long time.
Yeah, surprised to see Jacob O'Reilly so far back in this field. Normally well and truly entrenched inside the top 10 and generally the top 5, so yeah, a little bit surprised to see Jacob back there battling away with Brian Borg, where we know Brian's got plenty of experience and a lot of laps around this place. These boys will be definitely hoping for a safety car, but yeah, we don't often get a lot of safety cars in this place. Generally, usually the blown motor is the issue, not usually because of accident, a lot of runoff, so yeah, they might not get their wish granted here. Brian Borg drifting into turn 1 there.
Definitely putting the pressure on Borgie. Looks a little bit loose coming out of 3. Good jump back up. Kostecki still in 4th. Hasn't managed to close the door down to Freya that much at the moment. I think all that battling may have affected his tyres a little bit. Probably start to think these guys, if you're doing a split strat, you'd probably be looking at coming in about lap 14 or 15. So time definitely ticking away for some of these guys. Hobson definitely tucked right up behind Luke Mitchison now.
Rattray White still in P2. Looks like that gap to James Scott has stabilised a little bit now. James not really getting too much further ahead, but Rattray White has been able to keep that nice gap to Tom Freer in P3 as well. So get the feeling if Kostecki can pick up the toe from Freer, it won't take him too long to get past, and then he's really going to start hunting down Rattray White.
Yeah, just needs a couple of tenths to get back into that slipstream.
But Tom is in a pretty good vein of form at the moment. We've seen him race very well with us in the last few weeks, and a little bit of bad luck often follows Tom, so fingers crossed he doesn't have that tonight, but he's certainly driving very, very well at the moment.
Definitely been happening around Richardson. Almost as if he's holding up these two guys now. Probably need to start thinking about some team orders and let Hobson Briggs through. And Tom, sorry mate.
Yeah, I just get the feeling that Hobbo's just saving as much fuel as he can. You can still see the cars in front. They're not out of contact, and I think if they were starting to get out of contact, you might see him make a move, but I think Hobbo knows that there's a lot of time to be gained with saving as much fuel as he can around here.
Yeah, plenty of work to be done still. And Teo Serrano's up 10 spots. He's starting to latch onto the back of Joe Marnie. Sorry, might be Taliancic just who he's latching onto. Got ahead of myself.
Another one, Dylan O'Shea, currently P11 from 95 Sim Sport. He's slowly worked his way up the field, and he's not too far off the back half of this top 10, so he really needs to be able to latch onto the back of Visma, try and leapfrog Visma, and then work his way up to the back of Briggsy and whatnot. Oh, there we go. We just see Hobson make the move on Mitchison, and Briggsy goes with him.
Yep. I'm still listening to our broadcast, mate.
Yeah, just that gap opening up a little bit, and Hobbo thought, oh, that's it. Fuel saving mode has got to be over for a little while. I just need to stay in touch.
No, Tom Free is now under pressure from Kostecki. But keep an eye on this battle. What's Brody looking to get through here and hunt down Rattray White. Going up the inside into Canada. And gets the job done. We go back to another battle. Brady Baldwin tucked up behind Zachary Vlasbom. Looks to the inside. And gets the job done coming out of Canada. And Brenton Hobson now tucked up behind Damien Johnstone. And Briggsy coming with him. Definitely some hard driving. Mitchison gets past Briggs on that occasion as Briggs goes wide.
Saw Briggsy out there on lap 1, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely fuming that he's ended up out there again on lap 15. Leaves himself a lot of work to get back in touch with the boys in front.
And Zachary Vlasbom is in pit lane, so one of our first drivers to go in for their first stop.
Right on cue, John, lap 15, and
Yep.
as you said, if you're going to split the race, this would be around the time you want to do it.
And just going to check on Brian Borg. He's tucked up behind Matty Mascord. Hello, Nova Castrian, mate.
Yeah, Matty did send me a message earlier saying he was going to be racing tonight, and great to have him back. I know he gets quite busy with work, and he goes through periods where he doesn't even get to touch the sim for long periods of time. So good to see him back in the sim tonight.
He looks flashing his lights. He must be listening to us. Doing very well. Going to jump back up on Kostecki. He hasn't really pulled away from Freer as much as I thought he would. Freer hanging onto the back there. Ross, you can see throwing everything into the final corner. Driving it like a jet ski.
Yep, Damien Johnson in the lane.
That's the first of our lead drivers heading down the lane. That one run itself out. Where he pops up. All boys now up 17 into 12th. Of course, early lap 1 pit stop involved in that turn 3 incident. May have had some damage, I would say. But he's circulating quite well behind teammate Troy Stone Street in front of him. Stone Street, of course, leading our Super 2 drivers. and also leading our vets division as well. So great drive from Stoney. Very hard working driver.
Johnson just leaving the pits now, John, and it's a very long pit lane here, so you lose quite a chunk of time pitting here, but it'll be interesting to see what sort of gain Damien Johnson might get on fresh tyres in terms of who he was racing with, mainly his Synergy teammates.
Yeah, that's exactly the issue that you're going to have, isn't it? You need to be able to make that time up on these fresh tyres real quick. And of course, his pit time was 30.5 seconds, or 30.05 seconds. So a fairly long stop. Most of the guys that have stopped around him have been about 22 to 24 seconds, mate.
Yeah, it's a long track, big fuel burn around here, so yeah, they'll be going through plenty of fuel, and Damien opting for a longer first stop and looking to capitalise possibly on a short second one.
As War Boys now getting a bit racy with Stone Street, tucked up in the draft here. Do have an incident on up near the front, I'm not sure who that was. It might have been Jordan Ross.
We got Brenton Hobson, Luke Mitchison in the lane as well.
Jordan Ross going into turn 1, goes in deep, misses his braking marker. And goes full sandbagging out of turn 1. That's cost him a bit of time there, mate.
Yeah, that's a mistake you definitely don't need or want to make. Certainly makes you lose contact with the guys you're racing with. And I saw Blake Warboys get past his teammate Troy Stone Street, so Blake, after the trials and tribulations of lap 1 that he suffered, is doing an excellent job out there at the moment and starting to carve his way through the field.
And Briggs and Mitchison have come back out with Hobson. Hobson's jumped all of the boys. He's now got himself in front of Briggs, Mitchison and Johnstone. Johnstone not gaining as much as what you thought we probably would have seen. Hobson though on the fresh tyres here, looking to make a move on Thomas Freeman. Nicely gets the job done. That leads us where we've got our stops.
Yeah, so at the moment, Damien Johnson 6 or 7 seconds longer
In the lane,
stationary, than the boys around him. So hopefully there wasn't an issue and it was just a big fuel dump, and we'll see him back on terms when the second stops start to shake out.
Well, should be about lap 29 would be where I'd be predicting that. It's Rattray White, Ross and O'Shea are in the lane. That now moves Kostecki up into P2. 3.6 seconds behind Scott. And 1.1 seconds in front of Tom Frere. Warboys moves into 4th with Stone Street 5th, Coleman 6th. So get into that phase of the race where we start to see a bit of a shake-up. And we start to see a bit of a shake-up in terms of fuel uplift and time in lane. Will make it quite interesting.
Brody was the quickest car on track that last lap around, so he was about 0.3 of a second quicker than James Scott, so Brody got plenty of speed in that car.
Yeah, definitely interested to see how it rolls out as Thomas Freeman now being passed by Adam Briggs. These boys with the fresher tyres. Freeman goes to the outside, allows Briggs to the inside. is done. Ryan Borg's the other one a little bit racy up the road. He's got Paddy Mescord still tucked behind him. Only managed to get about half a second, so that's been a bit of a battle. Michael Taliancic is the other battle on track, still with Teo Serrano behind him. Of course, these two used to be teammates at Altus together, so we've got a bit of an understanding of how each other drive. Of course, Michael went in on lap 1 and took 16 litres on. Oh, sorry, in for 16 seconds. Teo was in for 3. Stone Street's into the pits. So the first of those two WK&P cars. He had a 5th. The Warboys, of course, went in on lap 1 and took 10-second top. Let's say would have been for repairs, possibly tyres as well. You see where Stone Street rolls out. Good jump on Dylan O'Shea. He's right up behind Damien Johnstone now. So O'Shea's moved forward a bit, mate.
Yeah, well, you know how quick Dylan is. He's a rock-solid racer and takes no prisoners. And yeah, he probably was a little bit further back than he wanted to be after that lap 1 incident, but it's been a pretty tough slog for him, I think, to get here. But he's fighting his way forward and doing a great job.
That looking very solid. And he's going to go back on with Borgie. Mascord has caught up again. Make the move this time, though. He's going to stay. There he is. Going to check on Kostecki. That gap's still about 1.9, so he's got out of the slipstream for Freya. Kostecki and Scott all racing on their own time now. And last lap, of course, was 1/100th of a second difference between Scott and Kostecki, so both lapping pretty similar times. I'm still waiting for Scott Kostecki, Freya, Coleman, Tonkin to pit. Warboys has pitted now as well. So Stone Street has shuffled back out in 22nd. Top for 21 seconds. And Warboys, I'm sorry, still hadn't stopped, so he's up 25 spots in 4th. Tonkin and O'Reilly in the lane.
Yeah, for all the boys that pitted on lap 1, I'm not sure if that'll count as a compulsory pit stop. I think you've got to have one green
Flag, right,
yeah, before you can pit for it to count as a compulsory. So there could be a few people that will need to make 3 stops tonight.
It was mainly the group though that pitting Mark were the ones towards the back, probably seeing the sense of a free set of tyres and maybe top up the tank that little bit more.
Yeah, definitely when you're on the safety car, if you're all the way at the back, it's always a good option to just top the tank up a bit, take some fresh tyres and catch back up to the back of the pack without losing too much.
As Visma works his way past Mitchison. Gives Visma up to 18th. Great drive from Anthony here, moving his way forward. Ryan Borg, another one of those lap 1 stoppers. He's sitting up 19 spots in 9th. Finish open that gap up on Matty Mescott a little bit though. Coleman's into the lane. We'll stay with this battle here. No Aiden Cale racing tonight. Maybe. A little bit loose from Borgie. Go back. Brady Baldwin's still circulating. He's in a good little battle with Reg James. And Brady, of course, quite well known for his dirt track antics. And got a bit of commentary as well. And Reg James, one of our vets drivers who uses Tuesday night as a warm-up for his racing on Thursday, where the vets will be here for 250 Ks across all three splits with 150 drivers. So plenty of action. Hang on to it, Reg. As Baldwin gets his way through there, Coleman and Mascot into the lane as well. And Dylan O'Shea just set a purple sector lap. The purple lap with a 2:05.63, so that's the fastest lap of the evening so far. So Dylan definitely finding a bit of form in this middle stint this evening, tucked up behind Ross and Briggs. As James Scott, our race leader, and Kostecki in P2 come down the lane. What does Freya do? He continues on. Freya crosses the stripe with P1 against his name. And Rattray White still sitting in ninth, so I'm interested to see where these boys up front come out. Put a move on board here going into Canada Corner. Job done there. And we've also seen Talianchik and Durano coming together. Four Boys moves into P2. All by himself. 17 seconds down the road from Freya.
Craig Schultz in the lane as well.
Definitely seeing a few of these guys go long for that first stint. They'll be looking to make hay while the sun shines, running a shorter tyre life the next two stints. Jordan Ross, one of the drivers, come in on lap 17. He's tucked up behind his teammate Adam Briggs. And Dylan O'Shea getting involved here now, looking quite racy. Dylan, of course, one of the young guys at 9.5 Sim Sports. Ross goes through. Here comes O'Shea. Oh, it's a bit of a tag. Gets out of it enough to not push Briggs out of the way, but a little bit of a tap there. Jordan Ross, the next man in front, the hunt down. Brenton Hobson. As Tom Freya heads down the lane, what does War Boys do? To the last corner, of course, War Boys pitted on lap 1. Have a little bit more fuel, I'd say, than the others. Heads down into turn 1. So James Scott was our race leader before the first round of stops. He stopped with a 26.6 second stop, so he took on 3 seconds more worth of fuel than Kostecki, and but 2 seconds less than Rattray White back in 5th. Brian Ball pitted on lap 1, so looking for him to pit very shortly, and he does, along with Freya. And Hobson, of course, he pitted on lap 16, took 24, stopped for 24 seconds. Ross on 17, stopped for 26. O'Shea stopped for 22. Briggs for 22. Johnstone for 30. So Johnstone's probably the man to watch when we get to this next round of stops. It shouldn't be too far away. I'd say probably in the next 7 to 8 laps. We should start to see some to unfold. But definitely some good racing going on.
We'll just see Tom Freer come out behind his teammate Brenton Hobson, but he's on fresh tyres, so should be able to make fairly quick work of Brenton.
Already has.
And then he's got Rattray White out in front of him, so Tom's got a lot younger tyres than Rattray White as well, so you see that gap start to come down pretty quickly, especially on this first outlap for him.
And of course, you're already talking 6 laps difference between Hobson and Freer. And Rattray White as well, so it won't take too many laps before you start to see that tyre dominance of Freer take over. And of course, with only 20 laps left, he really has to go 10 laps each set, and so late.
And Dylan O'Shea, he's already made 2 stops, and he's currently in P8, so pretty sure one of his stops may have been on lap 1. I'd have to double check that.
I think it was. Yep.
But yeah, he's come storming through to find himself entrenched in the top 10 now.
Yeah, a very good drive. Warboy's in the lane as well at the moment, so I'll see where he peels out. Hobson in P6. He's in the middle of a train, a bit loose there. Off the curb.
Well, that's certainly not going to help him going up the front straight. You need a good exit there to maintain momentum, and as soon as you get a bit of a wriggle on like that, it's you lose a lot of top end speed.
And here comes O'Shea having a look on Hobson now as well, and just on that lap as well, Kostecki going with a 2:05.08. Absolutely 3/10 faster than Scott on that lap. Sets the fastest lap for the race.
Hobson looking very vulnerable. Sorry, John. Hobson looking vulnerable here to O'Shea and Briggs, but Hobson hangs tough on the inside.
He's going to hang tough on the outside. A little bit of a twitch. Hobson realising he's still got traffic out there. And they've touched! Hobson spun. He's into the tyre wall. Whether that's damaged the car or not, I don't know with the new model. Trying to get it back on, losing plenty of spots.
Yeah, he won't be happy about that. Car looks like it's intact.
Just see if we can have a look at that one again on the Supercheap Auto replay. Not much in it really, no malice. Both trying to keep each other some room. But Hobson come out worse for wear out of that one. That's shuffled him all the way back down the order. As Hobson now back in 10th. Luke Mitchinson, his teammate, putting a lot of pressure on Anthony Visma. A good little battle going on there.
Yeah, we saw Visma get past a little bit earlier, and Mitchison is trying to come back at him. That was about 5 laps ago.
And another one to keep an eye on now is Brody Kostecki is in the slipstream now of James Scott. So we're about to see an epic battle, I think, out front here. One that has been in the making for a while. Apologies, I seem to have lost. Right, go back to live pictures. That's what I've done. Hobson's in the lane, so he's obviously got flagged. And battle here, definitely spicing up between Kostecki and Scott. So I'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Hobson. They may have damage, so hopefully does get one fast repair if he hasn't used it already. He'll be back out shortly.
Yeah, definitely didn't have a meatball. I checked on that straight away. But Hobbo is pretty quick thinking on his feet. Possibly feels that if he has lost a few spots, then the best way to get them spots back is by undercutting the cars in front of him.
Definitely a way to go. Warboys worked his way back up to 14th. Luke Mitchinson, Fisma, we talked about that battle before. Damien Johnstone, he's in a battle here with Tom Shea. Thomas Freeman. I'm going to read and press buttons at the same time. Adam Briggs, he is being chased down by Dylan O'Shea. Keep an eye on that battle there. Yeah, Brody Kostecki, when he entered for East Coast, he entered under Trade Hire Racing. That is the moniker he's running the old Richie Dock Shop livery. But yeah, I do believe Harry is part of the Lobs Esport group. So, but having a bit of fun is Brody, and I reckon in about 0.7 of a lap time up the road, he'll be having a lot more fun shortly. Starts battling with his good mate James Scott. And Thomas Freeman doing very well. He's worked his way up 17 spots in the 9th. Did it on lap 9 though, so his tyres would be starting to get a bit rough. In saying that, he's all over the back of Johnstone here.
Yeah, Thomas is always one to have a little bit of a left field strategy, and we've seen him on many occasions make it work for him here at East Coast. We've seen him get plenty of podiums by doing a very alternative strategy to everyone else. So Tom is another one that's a very good thinker on his feet. So yeah, don't be surprised if he makes the strategy he's got work for him.
Oh, he's working very hard here. He's about to get the pass done. And right, thought he might have. Pulls it up. Visma, Richardson. Well, Visma's going to get past here. Great move from him to put himself into the top 10. And Briggs, he still has O'Shea touched on the back here.
Just scrolling through the field there and just saw a bit of panel rubbing coming down into turn 5 on that big long back straight there between Briggs and O'Shea, and then a little bit of panel rubbing on the exit. I thought it might have ended up the same way as it did with Hobson, but Briggsy was able to keep it straight. But yeah, O'Shea certainly not holding back here at the moment.
And some good driving here between Craig Schultz and Dave Coleman. Two of the Super 2 drivers battling it out. Still side by side coming through Hurry Downs. Surely not going to go two abreast through the carousel. And no, straighten that one up. Schultz drops in behind.
Hard enough to get your own car around there, let alone two cars.
And O'Shea is in the lane for his second stop. So that's the first one of the leaders peeling in. And James Scott now under pressure with 4/10 back to Kostecki.
Mitchison in the lane as well.
Starting to see, so it'll be probably a lap earlier than I thought. You'd start to see a few of these boys start to plan that second stop. Usually about lap 28 to 30 was my prediction. Only a lap early. Thomas Freeman about to pull out on Johnstone this time. No, tucks back in behind again. Getting a lot out of the draft, but not capitalising into the corners. But still a long way to go. As Richardson shuffled a long way back as he rolls out. Brady Baldwin having a look on Jacob O'Reilly. Close the nose a little bit, tucks up behind. Good little battle pack here with Coleman and Schultz just in front. Michael Angus lurking in the background there as well. Don't underestimate Angus as one of the fishy boys. Another very talented driver. Going to jump back up the front. This battle is closing right up now. See Decky right up on the rear bumper of James Scott. Is that right, John? What can we do coming down into turn 5? Bottom of sweep. He pulls out. And Kostecki is our new race leader, up 24 spots. What can James Scott do here? There's Baldwin and Angus are in the lane. O'Shea's in the lane as well. Freeman still hasn't got past John Stone. It's going to go back down to O'Reilly. They're tucked up behind Coleman and Schultz. Gets Coleman. Indeed, to Schultz.
I've got quite a few gaps opened up with different fuel strategies playing a role here, John. But O'Reilly getting sideways, just tagged the back of Craig Schultz there, and they both managed to just hang on.
Yeah, very lucky. There's definitely some different fuel strategies about to play out, Mark. Very intriguing to see how they will. It's Kostecki coming under a bit of pressure from Scott. Scott, most of that draft there, by the looks. And O'Reilly and Coleman hanging under the back of O'Reilly here. Schultz still hanging off dear life in front. And pulls up this side. Oh, that was very twitchy in the front end. Expecting O'Reilly not to pull that up, but somehow does. Down into turn 4, about to head down the straightaway. Coleman manages to get into the back of the pack again here. Of course, this is only the battle for 15th, 16th and 17th. But it's an exciting one on track at the moment. This time, O'Reilly down the inside. Going to get the move done. Under a little bit of pressure now from Coleman. Very, very careful getting overtaken. Let's jump on board with our race leader. And James Scott in that draft, so you see him start the close. Backs up a little bit, saves a little bit of fuel going into turn 1.
I think you mentioned earlier, John, that Brody took about 3 seconds less worth of fuel than James. Not sure if
Yeah, that was right. That was right. Yeah.
Yeah, so James, all he really wants to do is just stay in contact, stay tucked up under Brody, and next time in the pits. In theory, he should come out about 3 seconds in front.
And of course, with their late stop, they'll be looking to probably pit around 31, 32. As we have a look here, as Jordan Ross putting the pressure on Tom Freer now. And Ross the boss working his way forward a little bit. Still sitting in 5th where he started. A little battle. Rich James into the lane. O'Shea still in the lane. He hasn't come back out. What happened with Dillon? Going to roll a little bit further back, just check on that Craig Schultz, Dave Coleman battle. Coleman driving some of his best races. Seen Coleman driving this well for a long time, but it's great to see. Keeps on the back of Schultz there. Going to jump back on Kostecki. See slipstreaming down the lane. Turn 1. Race pretty much getting poised here, I think, for these last round of stops, Mark, as John Stone goes in. He's the one I'm interested to watch. He was the 32nd stop. That first stop. The other one I'm interested to watch would be Coleman, who stopped for 37 seconds. First time through.
Just looking in the lane there, Dylan O'Shea still in there, so I'm not sure if he's pulled the pin, racked the queue. He may have had some damage with that incident with Hobbo earlier, but yeah, it just looks like Dylan O'Shea will not be coming back out on track by the look of it.
No, really. As Bisma and Stone Street are in the lane as well, so is Marnie. Starting to see the second round of stops roll out. Be an intriguing finish here. On board with Tom Freer. Keep an eye. John Stone's come out. He stopped for 15.15 seconds. That in perspective, his teammate Hobson was 17.33. Ateo Serrano in front was 21.52. So, expect Coleman to be a little bit racy moving forward. Everyone around him has stopped about the same lap. Has stopped about 20 laps earlier. Sorry, 10 laps earlier. Let these pit stops roll out. I remember a few of these guys did stop on lap 1. The race control took the names of those, and you can keep a track of how many stops those people make. As Rattray, White and Briggs from our leaders are now in the lane. Now we're going to start to see hotting up front. Coleman still fighting with Schultz. Heads through the kink, down into Canada, and can't get close enough to get the job done, can Dave Coleman. Freeman in the lane as well. About to see how these guys all peel out.
Yeah, so we've only got 12 laps to go. Still a lot of racing to be done in them 12 laps because it's such a long track, but just trying to guess my calculator. I reckon James Scott probably needs about 18 seconds worth of fuel. And Brody around 21. So I'm interested to see how close my calculations are once they pit.
From Freer, now that he's back into P3. Not where he started, still has his teammate Jordan Ross though, right behind him in the slipstream. It's Schultz, Tonkin, Serrano in the pits as well. Definitely seeing these guys roll through. And see how long they stop for. The way out. Tonkin was 22.6, Schultz was 25.7, 23 for Serrano. What happened to Brenton? Brenton got caught up in a little bit of an incident with Dylan O'Shea. Unfortunately, Brenton came out worse for wear. A bit of a racing incident. So yeah, definitely a little bit of a hard luck. And that saw him, I think, we didn't see a meatball show up, but we think he may have had a meatball and pitted early as Freya and Ross come in. And Richie, yeah, they're in a league of their own this evening. Yeah, Brody has done it the hard way. He's come back 24 positions back to drive his way through pure class. Great to see James being pushed. And great to see Brody having a bit of fun as well. Hopefully have yourself back in here soon. Yeah, they are a different class of driver. We all know that. It's about to lap Reg James as Freya comes back out. Ross stopped 4 seconds longer than Freya. So starting to see this race shake itself into position now. Still need the lead 3 cars to stop. One more time. See how it all shakes out. Up for 21 seconds, 22 seconds for Mitchelson. Jordan Ross was aiming for 18, Freya for 14, Rattray White for 15. So need to keep an eye on War Boys and see what he does, where he rolls back out. And of course, these two lads here coming in the lane now. About to have the last of our final stops done with 10 to go. Bit of a lock up there from Brody. Hopefully he hasn't triggered the radar detector into the pit lane. As O'Reilly gets past an off-track Ross. It's the second time tonight, Mark, we've seen Ross make a mistake.
Yeah, Jordan pushing to the absolute limit, and yeah, just a couple. And Brody Kostecki has got a black flag coming into the lane. So
oh, bugger.
That is going to absolutely destroy his race.
Yeah. And destroy what was shaping up to be a hotly contested finish between Scott and Kostecki. See where they come back out. So War Boys, we believe, pitted on lap 1 and then again on lap 23. So he will need to make another stop. He's about to roll out just behind James Scott here. He needs to sort that one out. Rattray White has made 2 stops, pitted on lap 31. He is going to roll into second. Position when War Boys goes in. And the other battle on track, Dave Coleman still has to make his second stop. He's in around a little bit of traffic with Freya, John Stone and Ross at the moment. As O'Reilly, Kostecki tumbling down. Not sure if he's going to come back out, looking at the times he's been in the lane for. As Mahoney gets a pass there on Baldwin. So Marnie, sorry, moving forward.
Yeah, I'd say Brody's racked the queue there. I don't think he's going to come back out on track.
Coleman gets passed by Jordan Ross. O'Reilly stopped for 52 seconds and so did Schultz. So that was some long stops there by those guys. And he's going to jump on with Stone Street. He's tucked up behind Borg. O'Brien working his way up 16 spots into 12th. A good try for him for the evening. And back up. Brady Baldwin, sorry, going back down. Brady Baldwin and Arnie having a good little battle still. Picked up the battle its way through to the finish.
Jordan Ross back in the line.
What that's for. And with Coleman as well. Ross already had 2 stops. And rolling straight through by the looks. May be a drive through maybe. Oh no, he's going to his box.
Yeah, no flag in iRacing, so not sure if he's under-fueled or...
Well, I'm not sure what's going on there. A few boys moving up spots. Borgie now moves into the top 10, up 18 spots. Bismarck in 9th, up 4 spots. Good drive from the Viz this evening. Thomas Freeman up 18 spots. Actually, I want to have to fix up 18 spots in 8th. Hobbo back in 7th where he started. He has driven relatively well to come back after a couple of little incidents he's been involved in. Prigsy in 6th, dropped back a little bit. Damien Johnstone in 5th. He'd be happy with that drive, showing some good form at the moment. Damien. Tom Freer in 4th, showing the class that he has. Zach Rattray White in 3rd, sitting on the podium at the moment. And of course, Blake Warboys, we believe he's going to make one more stop. He pitted on lap 1 and again on lap 23. And then James Scott is our race leader, all ahead of the pack.
Yeah, I mean, just looking through the timing monitor there, Hobbo's done a great job to get back to P7, considering he has made 3 stops. So if you cut one of them stops out, he's a lot further up the road than where he is at the moment. So yeah, a little bit of bad luck from Hubbo. I'm sure he had a great strategy in play for the evening, but yeah, just got caught up in an incident with Dylan O'Shea, and unfortunately he lost a lot of positions. He's kept going, and then Dylan's come into the pits and pulled the pin. So
Briggs in the lane again now.
Yeah, very interesting. I don't know if people are underfilling or they're... yeah, I don't know. Jordan Ross looks like he's stayed in the lane.
Yep. For what the go is. Alright. Brian Borg tucked up behind Stone Street now. Pulls out into turn 1. Gets the pass done. Stone Street was leading our Super 2 drivers. Comes back at him a little bit.
Come straight back at him. They almost touch after a little bit of wiggle on the curb for Brian.
And Stone
Sure,
Street.
Brian will be looking to come straight back at him coming down the straight here.
And Tully looking to get involved. Stone Street hanging to the inside. It's going to hold that line. See if Borgie can do the over and under. Like he's got that done. Talyancic running in the Synergy Sim Racing colours for the first time at East Coast. Has a look on Stone Street as well. Going to go too wide. Back with Tally. Tally can't get the job done. To the inside, going in hurry downs. Oh, very tight, hard spot to get the job done, but he's going to do it. And Stoney loses the 2 for 1.
And you can see just how much of a gap Brian Ball has been able to create as those two battled away. Tally's done a great job tonight, bit of a quiet achiever. He was well back after that lap 1 incident, and yeah, he's managed to get himself fairly close to the top 10 again. So good nose work from Michael Taliancic.
Retro White now coming under attack from Freya. So, not all over yet.
No, I think Tom's tyres are probably a bit younger than Zach's, and yeah, Tom will be looking to make a move down the end of this straight, I would think.
Very well covered. Retro White on the inside line. Freya tucked up behind a bit longer.
Yeah, great car positioning there from Retro White. Really closed off all options for Tom.
And of course now down Dari Downs, and we go through the carousel. Eyes are screaming at this stage. Throttle balance. The acceleration down to the floor. Fight it through the kink. A little bit quicker there from Freya than Retro White. Retro White a little bit off the curb, and the draft kicks in as well. Coming into Canada corner. Not quite close enough to attack. And we continue on up the hill again. Of course, this is the battle to get on the podium. Down, start straight away. See the power of that Retro White. Straight to the inside to block it. Great car positioning, keeps it straight, unlike Max Verstappen. Allows room for both cars to get round turn 1. Then blocks to the inside. Gotta be a little bit careful. Start to hurt your times. Boys 12 seconds up the road from Johnstone. So they've got a little bit of room to play. Lap 38 of 43, getting into the closing stages. Hobson just getting past Bismarck as well. Ooh, looks to the inside. No room there. Got to try the over-under. Retro White goes deep, and it's as easy as that. Let's see what will Freya do. Can he pull away here? Opening that gap up pretty quickly. Definitely Retro White is going to come back at him. We'll keep an eye on that one. It's going to go to Hobson for a minute. He's tucked right up behind Tom Freya.
Tom Freeman.
Freeman, sorry,
yeah. And these boys have actually swapped positions a couple of times in the last couple of laps. Hobbo did manage to get his way past Freeman, and then Freeman came back at him. So these boys are in a real tight battle.
Yeah, and so those laps ticking down. Check on Stone Street. He's still leading. Two Coleman's 9 seconds behind him. Not too far behind Taliancic. Taliancic in front here, fighting with Ball. And he's going to go a bit further back. Steve Tonkin a little bit loose there, has allowed Angus to get around him. And also Teo Serrano to get through as well. He's going to go back up front to Tom Freya. Tom Freya now under attack. We see Freya now defending the inside line into turn 1. Manages to get past, not get past, but manages to hold off Retro White. As we do it all again. Down the straightaway. Same cars, different position. Rattray White with the run. Freya blocks the inside, too wide, down. Got to try the over-under here. Oh, Freya right on the apex. Rattray White to try and get it done, trying to use up more than the bitchman required. A great driving by Freya in that situation. Pushing the car on the apex well. As we now continue to hurry down, that gap's opened up again.
Zach certainly using more track than was available there to try and get that move done. Probably hurt himself more than anything. Just allowed Tom to pick up a couple of car lengths, and Zach's tyres probably need a little bit of cleaning up after all that dirt, but yeah, like Tom, I think probably safe for now, but we'll probably see going back up that front straight again. Rattray White close that right back down.
And one with Borgie. Borgie's still battling with Tally. Look, he's gotten through. Teo Serrano, Michael Angus side by side. Good tough racing down towards the back of the group. And going back out front, James Scott's now got himself 10 seconds up the road from War Boys, who we believe may need to stop again. And Tom Freya in P3. Battling with Rattray White. Rattray White have a crack coming down into turn 5 at the end of the straightaway here. Freya positions the car to the inside. Rattray White goes to the outside. Time to look to go too wide around. Not going to get the job done. Tucks in behind again. Needs to stay as close as possible through this section of the circuit, so that going down into Kettle Bottoms he can get the job done. A bit rough off the curb there, and in the hurry downs.
Down to only 3.5 laps to go, so not a lot of laps left for any of these boys to move forward, but yeah, this battle was very intriguing when we saw Tom behind Rattray White. Kind of looked like Tom had so much more pace, but then now the roles are reversed and it looks like Rattray White has got more pace than Tom, so a lot of toing and throwing here.
And tucks in behind. A lot of dirt on the track through that section of the circuit as well at the moment. Rattray White dropped off a bit and further. He's about to half a second now for a good exit through the final corner.
As you said earlier, John, this is for the battle for the final position on the podium at the moment, so fair bit at stake for these two boys. Thomas Freeman been able to open up a bit of a gap on Brenton Hobson. I think although we saw him come into the pit lane after that incident with Dylan O'Shea, which was roughly about 19 laps ago, so Hobo's tyres I'm sure are feeling pretty second hand at the moment.
Still side by side. Oh, a little bit of a rub. Freya manages to hang on again. We go back to Steve Tonkin. Good little battle here with Serrano. Angus, this is 15, 16, 17. lap time in this one. A little bit of lock up in the background from Tonkin. And he just pull it up, gets right on the back. And goes straight into the drag here with Angus. Angus on the blower there, so maybe a little bit of a touch going into turn 3. As Rhino is passed. Angus tucks in now under pressure there. Go back up to Frez. These boys can do. Starting to slowly pull away that little bit. It's Tom Freya. The gap now opened out a little bit more. We'll see what it's like coming down into turn 5. Lap 42 or 43, so only 2 more opportunities here for Rattray White to get the job done.
Yeah, Rattray White seems very strong in this section of the track. Seems to be able to make a lot of ground up on Tom, but Tom's just opened that gap up to a couple of car lengths, which should seem safe down into turn 5 here.
It's starting to the outside this time. Keep an eye on that. A couple of little battles. I said Hobson before, he's managed to hang on to the back of Freeman. Of course, Hobson pitting on lap 24, Freeman on 31, so the older tyres make it a little bit harder for Hobbo. Check on Tonkin again, he's tucked right up behind Angus again.
Be interesting to see if Warboys comes into the lane on this lap around, because I think we believe he still has to make another stop. Whether he's aware of that, I'm not sure, but we are of the belief that you need to complete 1 lap of green flag racing before a compulsory pit stop is counted. Oh, and he's keeping going, so he may not be aware that he does need to make another stop. Or we've got the rule book wrong. I haven't read it, but if it is similar to the vets, that's what you have to do in vets. You cannot pit until a lap of green flag racing is completed.
Which is similar to vets, so will be the case, Mark.
If that is the case, then Freya and Rattray White will end up on the podium.
Should a safety car to be deployed prior to the leader commencing lap 2 on the racetrack, the safety car period continues after the commencement of lap 2. The compulsory pit stop window will not open until 1 lap after the race goes green. So that is the wording there. It's James Scott heading through the kink for the final time. He has had driven really well. We was shaping up to the Kostecki James Scott battle that we've all been looking forward to at East Coast, but did not avail due to a pit lane infringement. But James Scott in the second half of this race had it all his own way, has driven very, very well, and will be very happy with the outcome of this one as he crosses the line to take round 4 victory. And Warboys crosses in second, but I don't think his first pit stop counted. And then we of course come into Tom Freer, Retro White brings it home. And then we have Damien Johnstone, followed by Thomas Freer, playing Brenton Hobson in 7th. Freer, of course, up 20 spots. That was a great drive from him. Anthony Visma, he is going to bring it home in P8. That is a great drive from the Viz. He'd be pretty happy with that one. Brings it home in front of Michael Taliancic. And then Brian Borg up 18 spots in 10th. Roy Stone Street will be the first of our Super 2 cars. Great drive from him, and also first of our Vets drivers. So a great result for Stoney. Dave Coleman, he will bring it back through in P12, up 18 spots. I think Dave will be pretty happy with that drive. Brady Baldwin in 13th. Joe Marnie, coming next one up the hill. Bring it home in 14th. 15th, Teo Serrano, bringing it home in front of Angus and Tonkin. Very close battle amongst those boys there at the end. And Reg James, very quiet night. We haven't spoken much about Reg, but he's up 6 spots. Going to finish 18th. Good bit of practice for him. Jacob O'Reilly finished the battle on. He's going to bring it home in 19th. And then 20th will be the Nova Castrian, Matty Mascord. He'll be pretty happy with that drive. First time back in a while. And then Craig Schultz from 95 Sim Sports will be the man coming home in P21. And then Blasbomb, who stopped on lap 42. Mitchison stopped on 35. Briggs on 35. Ross on 34. Becky on 33. That rounds out our grid, Mark. Oh, sorry, our finishing positions.
Yep, another dominant performance there from James. Struggled a little bit in qualifying, but certainly delivered in the race. Some really, really strong drives there. Blake Warboys, although staying P2, but that was a great drive from Little Grid. Ratro White did very well. Tom Prius, rock solid. Those two boys had a great battle the whole race. So some really good racing and certainly some interesting outcomes for tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting tomorrow night. Synergy looked very strong early on. Get Brady, like the Loves boys, are a pretty solid set. Tomorrow night is going to be a very, very tough race for a few of these boys. But the Pro Series always turns forward. Seeing how it all pans out tomorrow night. Tough track last time we were here. Caused quite a few upsets. Circumstances are a bit different. And see how these guys go. And the man in P2, Tom Freer. Well done, Tom.
Thank you. That was pretty fun at the end. Zach has unreal pace this week. So, yeah, it's one of the toughest races I've done in a while.
Oh, it was very entertaining. Very entertaining for us to watch. Got plenty of airtime with it. Definitely going toe to toe, which was quite interesting. Personal. Yeah, so good prep for tomorrow night, though. You've obviously, at Synergy's boys, got a little bit of pace in your set.
Yeah, to be honest, I think we need to tune it up a bit. Just really struggled with fronts. We had really good rears, just fronts, just blowing them off every stint. And whenever we got clean air, we just struggled. So, yeah, I don't know. We got a little bit of work to do. At this rate, we'll probably be down in the 30s tomorrow, I think. So, yeah, we'll try and fix it, and hopefully tomorrow we're all good.
And going to man in P3, of course, Zach Ratro White, backing up a podium at East Coast after your podium on Sunday night at Scott's. Must be pretty happy with the setup as well.
I'd like to say I am. It's pretty dog at the moment. I'm checking the tyres now. It's not great. So, yeah, we'll probably need to do a bit of a tune-up overnight. Make it a little bit better tomorrow.
Fighting pretty hard there at the end though with Tom, which would have increased your wear a fair bit.
Yeah, that was a pretty good battle.
Very entertaining for us to watch. A bit of the pace shown by all. Not sure if James is going to drop in or not, but anyone you want to give a shout out to, Zach?
Shout out to the team and the drivers that have been putting in the work for the setup. We've dropped a few recently, but pushing on. The sponsors: Vermilion X Coaching, Himo Setup, Vermilion Motorsports, Burb Designs, and Supernova Motorsports.
Easy. What about you, Tom? You want to give a shout out for the Synergy lads?
Yeah, obviously it's thanks to the guys at SSR. They're working pretty hard at the moment. So we're going to get this right one week. But yeah, obviously thanks to them and our sponsors, and obviously thanks to Zach at the end for not betting me. Because if I was in his position, I probably wouldn't have been very happy because I took it to the edge. But yeah, that's just tough racing, I guess.
Definitely is very tough. Not sure we're going to get words from James tonight, but of course he had to work for it at the first half of the race, and just a pit lane violation to Kostecki ruined his eve, ruined what was shaping up to be a tight battle at the front. Next week we are at Interlagos, of course, being a Scops week. Scops racing Interlagos the following Sunday, so you get a chance again to practice with setups and get yourselves organised. Any thoughts on Interlagos, boys?
I've never driven the V8 there, so it's a new venture for me. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not, but we'll find out.
When we go there with vets, it's always good of fun. It's actually enjoyable cracking the V8. Have fun, Zach. You'll enjoy it. Your favourite tracks too, wasn't it, mate?
Not from a race control perspective, because last time I was in race control there, the V8 race, I think we probably finished about 1 a.m. before we got through all the incidents. But in any case, it is a great track to drive on. It's a good track for V8s as long as the drivers do the right thing by each other. But yeah, I think it's, like it always serves up good racing when there's a quality field. So I think the boys in here tonight, Zach and Tom, did a great job out there tonight. It was a very entertaining battle there at the end of the race. And like I said, I thought when Tom was behind Zach, I thought he was going to drive away from him once he got past. But then once Zach was behind Tom, it was like the roles were reversed, and it looked like if Zach had got in front, he would have driven away. So goes to show how much the slipstreaming works around Road America, and it'll be similar in Interlagos.
Yeah, looking forward to it. On that note, looks like we're not going to get any words from James. So on that note, we might wrap the broadcast up. Say a huge thank you to everyone who's been watching. Huge thank you to the drivers. Huge thank you to the race control and admin as we shape up for doing it all again next week. I promise I will get home from work before 8 o'clock and hopefully have better mic working. But we managed to jury something up, so we got it done. On that note, we will see everybody again next week. Thanks for watching.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
And people who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name. Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.